Hallstatt looks tiny on the map, but visiting it the wrong way can waste a ton of time. Crowds hit early, the streets get packed fast, and if you don't have a plan, you'll be zigzagging all day for the same photo spots. So, in this video, I'm not just showing you the 14 best things to do in Hallstatt, I'm showing you the best order to do them so you can see more, stress less, and actually enjoy it. Quick game plan, I split Hallstatt into 4 easy zones. Zone 1 is the old town must-sees, Market Square, the Evangelical Church, the postcard viewpoint, the Lakeside Promenade, and the Bone House. Zone 2 is hidden Hallstatt. Quiet corners, the Müllerstiege stairs, the small island, and waterfall viewpoints most people miss. Zone 3 is the lake zone, where you get out on the water for the best views of the whole town. Zone 4 is the big Finnish adventure zone, the Skywalk, Rudolfsturm, Salt Mine, Dachstein ice caves, Five Fingers Lookout, and the best stays with a view. Let's jump into Zone 1. Zone 1, Old Town Core. 1. Explore the Old Town and Market Square. Hallstatt's Old Town honestly feels unreal in the best way. Pastel houses, tiny lanes, flower boxes, and the lake right there like it's showing off? Don't overthink it. This is a walk slow, turn random corners, and let the town surprise you kind of place. And it costs $0 just to wander. You'll naturally end up in the Market Square, which is basically Hallstatt's little centerpiece. Pretty buildings, that classic alpine vibe, and a bunch of angles that somehow all look like postcards. There are cafes and restaurants around the square if you want to sit for a bit. Expect about $4 to $6 for an espresso or coffee, and $18 to $30 for a casual meal depending on what you order. Insider tip. Hallstatt gets busy fast once day trippers arrive. If you want it calmer, aim for early morning or late afternoon when the streets finally feel like a real village again. 2. Visit the Evangelical Church. This is Hallstatt's most recognizable landmark, the pointed steeple by the lake that ends up in almost every photo. Even if you don't do churches, this one's worth a quick stop because the setting is the real star and the visit is usually free. Inside is simple and peaceful, so it's a nice reset if the streets feel hectic. Insider tip. The best views are actually just outside near the water. Go a few steps past the church and look back for that iconic angle. 3. Visit the classic postcard viewpoint. You know that famous Hallstatt photo everyone has seen? Yup, this is where it's taken. The classic postcard viewpoint is a quick walk north of the Market Square. From here, you get the full Hallstatt starter pack. The church, the lakeside houses, and the mountains stacked behind it like a movie backdrop. Insider tip. If you want photos without a crowd in the frame, come early or later in the day. Midday is when the viewpoint turns into a mini photo line. 4. Walk along the Lakeside Promenade. This is the easiest wow moment in town. The Lakeside Promenade is a simple walk, but the views are ridiculous. Boathouses, mountains, reflections, and swans casually acting like they live in a fairy tale. If you're here in the morning when the water's calm, the lake turns into a mirror and it looks unreal. Insider tip. If you're doing photos, this is your best no-effort, maximum payoff spot, especially early before the wind picks up. 5. See the Bone House at St. Michael's Chapel. This one is wild, in a you'll definitely remember it way. The Bone House ossuary holds hundreds of skulls, many painted with names and dates, a tradition that came from limited burial space. It's eerie, but it's also strangely respectful and fascinating. Expect a small fee of around $2 to $3. Insider tip. Go earlier in the day if you want to take your time reading details without feeling rushed by the people behind you. Alright, now that we've covered the classic Hallstatt postcard spots, let's slip into a few quieter corners and viewpoints that most people rush right past. Zone 2. Quiet corners and hidden views. 6. Enjoy the view from the Müllerstiege stairs. If you want a viewpoint that feels a little more I found this than I followed the crowd, head up to the Müllerstiege stairs. It's still public, but it gives you a totally different angle. Rooftops, the church spire, and the lake tucked behind it. Yes, the steps are steep, but it's one of those quick efforts that pays you back instantly. Insider tip: go when the light is softer, morning or late afternoon. The rooftops look way better, and you won't be sweating through your outfit in photos. 7. Discover the small island. This is a tiny detour that most people skip, which is exactly why it's worth doing. Just a short walk from the center of Hallstatt, you'll find a small island connected by a bridge, and it gives you a quieter little perspective back toward the village and church. It's free, it's peaceful, and it's a great take-your-breath moment when the main streets feel crowded. Insider tip: go early when the water's calm. The reflections here can be insane. 8. See the Hallstatt Waterfall. This is one of those quick, underrated stops. The waterfall is tucked behind town, and it adds to that "how is this place real" feeling. You don't need long, just swing by, watch it crash down the rocks, grab a couple photos, and keep going. It's free, and it's usually quieter than the main viewpoints. Insider tip: the nicest angle is from the little bridge up in the Old Town area. Look for a spot where the water runs between houses. Next up, we're leaving the streets for a minute, because Hallstatt is even prettier when you see it from the water. Zone 3, on the lake. 9. Take a boat ride on Lake Hallstatt. Hallstatt from the water hits different. You can rent a small electric boat and cruise around on your own, and it's one of the most fun, low-stress things to do here, and it gives you that village floating under the mountains view that photos never fully capture. A realistic cost is about $33 for 1 hour for an electric boat. There are also pedal boats and other options, usually cheaper than electric boats depending on duration. Insider tip: there's typically no reservation, so go earlier if you want choices and shorter waits. And keep an eye on weather changes because the lake can get windy. Okay, now we're going up. This next zone is where you get the big panoramic views, the best wow photos, and the main adventure stops. Zone 4, above Hallstatt. 10. Ride the funicular to the Hallstatt Skywalk. If you want the big panoramic moment, the Skywalk delivers. The platform sits high above the village and gives you that bird's-eye view of Hallstatt, the lake, and the mountains in one shot. A realistic adult cost for a funicular round trip is about $34. Insider tip: go earlier to avoid queues. Late morning is when the lines usually start stacking. 11. Dine at restaurant Rudolfsturm. This is the eat with a view spot, up near the Skywalk area with those dramatic lake and mountain panoramas that make you forget you're tired. Even if you just do coffee and cake, it's worth the stop. Pricing depends on what you order, but plan on roughly $18 to $30 for a main dish and $6 to $10 for dessert, plus $4 to $6 for a coffee. Insider tip: if the terrace is open, that's the move, but it fills up fast on sunny days, so aim for an early lunch or a slightly late one. 12. Explore the Hallstatt salt mine. Hallstatt salt mine is a big deal. This place has been tied to salt mining for thousands of years, and the tour is part history lesson, part underground adventure. You'll go through tunnels, see the underground salt lake, and yes, there's a slide involved. A realistic budget for the mine experience is around $58 for an adult. Insider tip: it's cold inside even in summer. Bring layers so you're not shivering through the door. 13. Visit the Dachstein ice caves and Five Fingers Lookout. If you have extra time and you want your real Austrian Alps moment, this is one of the best add-ons near Hallstatt. The Dachstein area delivers serious alpine drama. First, you've got the ice caves with huge frozen formations, icy chambers, and that surreal feeling of being underground in a world made of ice. Even in summer, it can feel freezing inside, so this is not the day to show up in a thin jacket and regret your choices halfway through. After the caves, the Five Fingers Lookout is the main event for views. It's a platform that stretches out over the edge like a hand reaching into the air, and the drop below is the kind that makes your stomach do a little flip. The payoff's insane though. Big mountain panoramas, wide open valleys, and that I'm actually in the Alps feeling that photos never fully capture. Costs depend on what you buy, but a realistic budget for cable car and attractions is about $55 to $90 per person, and it can go higher if you pick upgraded ticket options. Insider tip: Start early and check the weather before you commit. Mountain conditions change fast. Also, if you're even slightly nervous with heights, you can still enjoy the view without forcing yourself all the way out to the very edge. 14. Stay in a hotel or apartment with a view. If you can swing it, staying overnight in Hallstatt changes the whole experience. Once the day crowds leave, the town gets quiet and it feels magical. The upgrade move is booking a place with a balcony or terrace because waking up to the lake is the kind of memory that sticks. For a lake view stay, prices vary a lot, but a realistic ballpark is around $250 to $450 per night and higher in peak season. Insider tip: pack light. Hallstatt is basically stairs with scenery. If your place is up steps, you'll thank yourself for a smaller bag. Useful information before visiting Hallstatt. Best time to visit Hallstatt. The best time to visit Hallstatt is from May to June and September to early October when the weather's pleasant, the lake looks its best, and the crowds are still manageable. July and August are peak season, which means packed streets, busy viewpoints, and longer waits for boats, restaurants, and the funicular. Hallstatt can feel more like a theme park at midday. Winter is quiet and beautifully atmospheric, with a cozy local feel and fewer tourists, but you'll deal with colder temperatures, shorter daylight hours, and some attractions running limited schedules. If you want the postcard Hallstatt vibe without the chaos, go earlier in the day or stay overnight so you can enjoy mornings and evenings when the town finally calms down. Where to stay in Hallstatt? Where you stay matters a lot in Hallstatt because overnight guests get the best version of the town. After the day trippers leave, it becomes peaceful and genuinely magical. Staying in the old town or directly on the lake is the most convenient and gives you the classic balcony views, but it's also the priciest, with many lakeview stays averaging $250 to $450 per night depending on season. If you want better value and a quieter base, staying just outside Hallstatt in nearby areas like Obertraun and surrounding villages can cost closer to $140 and $280 per night, and you can still reach Hallstatt easily. The biggest insider tip is to book early for summer. Hallstatt has limited inventory, and the best view rooms disappear fast, which is why prices climb quickly. How to get around Hallstatt? Getting around Hallstatt itself is simple. You explore the village on foot, and that's part of the charm. The bigger question is how you arrive and how you avoid wasting time once you're there. Many travelers do the train plus ferry approach, which is scenic and usually costs around $10 to $25 total, depending on where you're coming from. While a rental car gives you the most flexibility for nearby stops and viewpoints, typically costing $50 to $90 per day plus parking. Parking is limited in Hallstatt and fills early during peak months, so plan on $10 to $20 for parking depending on how long you stay. The best crowd hack is simple. Arrive early, do the old town before the peak rush, and save the lake or higher viewpoints for later when the center is busiest. Where to eat in Hallstatt? Hallstatt food is all about cozy Austrian comfort: schnitzel, goulash, lake fish, and strudel. And the good spots fill up fast. For a famous local meal, go to Sievert Zauner. Great regional dishes and fish, and expect about $25 to $45 per person. For another popular easy option right by the lake, Braugasthof on Hallstatter See is a solid pick for classic Austrian plates, usually $18 to $35 per person. If you want a vegetarian-friendly choice, restaurant Im Kanz is a great option with vegetarian and vegan dishes, typically $18 to $35 per person. Insider tip: eat early or slightly late. Midday is when Hallstatt turns into a waiting game. And that's Hallstatt. Tiny town, unreal views, and way more to do than people expect if you know the right order. If this guide helped you plan your trip and saved you from zigzagging all over the place, hit subscribe and share this with a friend who's always down for a Europe trip. And don't go anywhere, your next stop is Vienna. Our Vienna video's coming up next, and it's packed with the best things to do, the food you have to try, and the easiest way to explore the city without wasting time.